great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. But yeah, right now, I mean, listen. Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 596 of the Immigration Answers Show. How's everybody doing? How is your week? Are you off to a good start? Sorry we couldn't do a show yesterday. I had a very busy day. Didn't get to bed till late, so I'm actually a little bit tired, maybe a little bit cranky. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope your week's off to a good start. Let's see who's here. Traylene is ready for the show. Tanvir is here. Jay Cruz, as she often is, all the way from North Dakota. All right. Rocio's on lunch break. Chris is watching all the way from rainy Chicago. Chris is here. Christian, good to see you. All the way from Tampa. Hassan Abid is here. Hello, Hassan. Rocio's having barbecue chicken, tofu, and buttered potatoes. All right, all right. Tony says hello to Jim and Julia, but Julia is not in today, so it's just me running the whole show. So, Tony, I'll talk about that meeting with the lawyer in a little bit. Lindy's here. Piotr's here. H&M is here. Bashir's chiming in from the Bronx. I think the Bronx gets a bad rap. I don't know why people are down on the Bronx. Let me go ahead and put the waiting room link in the comments. If you want to come ask me a question, I'll be here for the next hour or so trying to answer your immigration-related questions. We got Eugene, Oregon in the house. We got Anthony's from the other side of the country, Asheville, New York. We got Alhaji in Yonkers. And we have some people in the waiting room, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Ahmed is here. Hello, Ahmed.
Hi, I have one question basically. Actually, my brother, he lives in UK and just want to know if he wants to move into US and live permanent in the United States. What are the visas he can apply basically? What is basically the way he can come and live and work?
How old is he?
He's 34.
So he's like done with school?
Yeah.
And you're saying he wants to get a green card?
Yeah, he's a UK national. Yeah, he's married. Basically, he has 2 kids, and wife. They live in UK. So since I'm in United States, so I was thinking.
You're a US citizen?
No, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm on F1 basically, and just wanted to know, is there any way he can come and he can live in the United States? I know he can come and visit.
So there's basically 4 ways. One is asylum. So does he fear going back to England? That's not going to work. Number 2 is marriage. He's already married, so that's not going to work. Number 3 is employment. So he could try to find an employer to sponsor him for a green card or a work visa so that he could then later on get a green card. Or the United Kingdom was able to apply for the diversity visa. So this October, if they're still able to if United Kingdom is still eligible for the diversity visa, then he could go ahead and apply for that in October and then maybe in about a year and a half get a green card through the lottery. But other than that, that's it.
So he is basically not sure, and Jim, if you can guide me through. He's a national, UK national, but he was not born basically here. Originally born in Pakistan. So would you think he will be eligible? Is it diversity visa is eligibility based on the born?
That's right. So he wouldn't be eligible for the diversity visa if he's born in Pakistan. That's right.
Okay, makes sense. So the option is like employment through.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Bye, Ahmed. See you, buddy. I guess Hina's here. Hina, are you there? You're on mute. I don't know what's going on. All right. Let's go to Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Can you take me off camera if you don't mind?
All done.
Yeah. Hi, Jim. A long time listener, first time caller, maybe 2 years.
Awesome.
Uh, I've been here many years, over 20 years.
Okay.
Probably not very successful because I don't have a green card. Everything started, I don't know how to start even, back in 2002. When I came to the US, was a J1 program. After a year, I applied for asylum, which is I missed the deadline. Went to immigration court and uh, been delegation for at least 2007. I got a removal order, withholding of removal.
Yep.
The same year I got married, 2007, and well, my marriage fell apart. So she withdrew the case, and my wife. So they denied basically the case, and they went back to my original status. So fast forward, well, I was getting all these years, I was getting a work permit. In 2022, I got married, and I'm currently married. We filed I-130, and after 17 months, it got approved,
Okay.
which is, I mean, this year already, basically. It's in February. So the problem is now well, I have a lawyer. He filed prosecutorial discretion and joined to reopen with ICE.
Yeah.
Case is currently in Florida. This was my deportation, but I live in different state. I live in California, Orange County. So the file back in the same time we filed I-130, and we haven't heard anything from them.
Wait, so you made the motion for prosecutorial discretion to reopen and set aside the deportation order and terminate before the I-130 was approved or after the I-130 was approved?
Actually, my lawyer filed everything like in October 2022 first, motion to reopen. This year, he basically submitted my approved I-130 to ICE as an additional evidence that additional evidence to dismiss my case. But since 2022, there's no movement, and I know there's because the decision has been made. I understand that in 2007, and we submitted additional evidence in February, basically this year, 2024, additional to my prosecutorial discretion, but we haven't heard anything yet. And
what was that in February?
In February, we submitted I-130 additional evidence that my I-30 was approved. But the motion was opened in 2022, and it's going to be, well, almost 2 years in October. My lawyer said, well, let's wait more like 9 months. He had like similar case from the moment we submitted I-130. So I don't know, is it
where's your lawyer's office?
Orange County, California.
And so they don't have any real connections to the immigration court in Florida.
No, well, basically, he filed the motion.
Yeah, but what I mean is he doesn't know any of the prosecutors there.
I doubt
it.
I mean,
it's just sitting there on a pile. So
yeah,
every office of DHS counsel has what's called the duty attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And your lawyer. See, here's the thing you need to remember. There's an election coming in November. There's a 50-50 chance that Donald Trump is going to be president. If you don't get your shit taken care of before Donald Trump becomes president, it's going to be a whole lot harder.
Yeah, and I understand that. Yeah.
So you should not be sitting by just waiting for DHS counsel to someday open up the envelope. Somebody needs to be bothering somebody, not you. Your attorney needs to be bothering the shit out of that office down in Florida to reopen and set aside. My understanding is the Trump team's agreeing to all that. I assume you had a valid entry to the United States.
I did, yeah.
On your J1, yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's the only reason you ever ended up in deportation, just for overstaying, and now you've got an approved
No,
I-130?
I basically applied for asylum.
Yeah,
It was a lot. It's a lot of. I
I
have a
mean,
lot of history there.
yeah, but not a criminal reason to end up in deportation, right?
No, I
And your
never had.
asylum, everything you said in your asylum case was true. It just didn't get approved, right?
Correct. And also the biggest concern. Well, I missed the deadline too. So I was
Yeah.
21, 22 years old.
So I would say to my attorney, I would send the attorney an email. Dear attorney, as you
Mhm.
know, there's an election in November. Donald Trump might get elected president. I'm very, very worried about the fact that my motion to reopen has been pending or my request for prosecutorial discretion and to join in a motion has been pending for a really long time. What is your plan to help me get out of this situation? Do it all in writing. Don't
Mhm.
call. Just keep bugging him until if they don't get back to you, they're being too passive. They need to be much more active.
Mhm. Because when he said, "Well, it's gonna be nine," I mean, I have a similar case, 9 months,
That's
but
BS. That's BS. And you either need to get a new attorney or you need to get an attorney down there in Florida to help who knows those attorneys who's talking to them every day.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I thought because I've been here for so long. I have a U.S. citizen wife. I mean, I didn't have any criminal record, nothing. I worked for the school, but
Yeah.
it just like
So
stuck.
what country are you from?
Biggest and coldest, Sir, Russia.
Russia. Yeah. So you got to hurry up, man. Come on, get on them and tell them to get moving. You can't be wasting a single day.
Let me ask you. Can I have one more question? Kind of related. What happens if they basically reject the motion? Then what do we do? I mean,
Well, first of all, and that's the other thing that your attorney might try is they might just go ahead and file the motion. I think that that's more likely to get them to pay attention than anything else.
but is it does it see this? I have knowledge in USAS, but court system. So this is a motion basically with ICE. Can he file directly with court?
Yeah, he could.
He could.
Yep.
Because this one says right here, motion to reopen Orlando. It's OPLA whatever office, assistant chief counsel. But like I said,
Right. But they're not responding. So you're running out of time.
all right, that's what I see. I was right. I was right in terms of I was worried. This is not normal. It's gonna be 2 year mark. They took 17 months to approve I-130 without an interview even. So
Right.
this. Yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy. I'm going to move on. Okay, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Nurse Laura has started a very interesting discussion on Taco Bell. Of course, we all know that she got married behind the Taco Bell. So I think that's why she has a special soft spot in her heart for Yo quiero Taco Bell. Mandamus on the mind. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Great. Could you kindly take me off camera? Thank you.
Done.
So, I'm an F1 student. I think I came here in 2011, and then I've been in different schools. I'm currently finishing my doctorate, hopefully this summer. I applied for EB2 NIW in August 2022, and I got approved in December 2022.
Nice.
And so in March 2023, I put in the adjustment of status with my husband as my dependent. I think at the time we had 2 kids, but they were born here, so they were not on the petition.
March of 23.
Yes.
Okay.
They were not on my kids were not on the petition because they were born here. And I think right after we applied, EB2 retrogressed.
Yep.
Thankfully, I think I got my EAD May, I think right after we did the fingerprint, and then that was that. And then I think at that time he was on OPT. So he got his EAD and advanced payroll together in September. And I think in July, they said they had paused working on our petition because there were no visas available, the whole spiel. And basically, they would return to working on it once we were current. And so we waited. And then in January, based on the visa bulletin, we became current. And we weren't hearing anything. And we are originally from Ghana, so we knew we were current. So on February 1, I asked our lawyers to put in a service request, which they did. And that took almost 2 months. And we weren't really hearing anything from them. And after they persevered, they were like, oh, because basically it was like, we're current. And they were like, yes, once your case turns current, their systems recognize it, it goes back in the pool, and it's processed based on when they received it. We hadn't heard from the service request for a while, so I had called USCIS using Emma chat, trying to figure out what was happening. And I got different responses. Basically, it was like, you're not current or things like that.
Yeah.
And so eventually on April 18th, when we got the response from USCIS through our lawyers, because they put in the service request, and we contacted our congressman. We just moved to Virginia, Charlottesville, actually. So,
nice.
yeah. And then they put in the request. And immediately the same day, they got a response that basically they had paused it because there was no visa available for us. And the whole thing was, well, we do know we've been current and we're still current. So it was a bit confusing. And basically we are at a standstill. We are in May. Thing is, I'm finishing school this summer, and it's a bit problematic because for what I do, it's either the federal government or a third-party government contractor. And even those ones will not even give me an interview. Immediately they know that you don't have the green card. Because of the kind of work I do, they're like, sorry. So it's really hard. I haven't been working for a while when we moved. And so I'm kind of lost as to what to do. We've tried to contact the senator. We filled the services form. It's been, I think, a week or so. We've not heard anything from them. So I'm kind of like really lost. And we had approached our lawyers before they did the service request. We had asked if they thought a mandamus was prudent. And they said, oh, I wouldn't go that route because it takes too long. And so they were like, we would rather put in the service request.
It's because they don't know how to do a lawsuit. That's why.
So that firm does only EB2 and NIW, and they're pretty good about it. I've referred several people to them. They've all gotten the approval for the NIW.
Yeah.
But it seems like this next step is problematic for them.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
so they were like,
just because you're good at eye surgery doesn't mean you know how to fix somebody's heart. You know, within immigration, there's people that specialize in stuff. So let me ask you this: what is your exact priority date?
August 10th.
Of 2022.
Yeah.
So throughout this year, since at least the January visa bulletin, your priority date being from Ghana for EB2 has been current every month.
Yes.
So when you said you got inconsistent answers from Emma and conflicting information from the Congress members liaison, they're just basically making shit up, trying to make you go away, right?
Yeah, and I think with a Congress person, maybe they just tracked it and they got back to me because they just said pause. And with the one from the lawyers, they forwarded me what USCIS sent to them. So basically, they just said once you become current, our system recognizes it and puts you back in the pool, and to be processed based on how it was received. And I can confirm that there are people who applied after me who have received their green cards. So if you say it goes back in the pool to be processed based on the date on which you applied, then you should be adjudicating my case.
So I'm really glad that we had this conversation, because the long and the short of it is USCIS just makes shit up. They just make shit up. They're not even truthful or consistent. I tell people all the time, you could ask Emma the same question 3 times in a row and get 3 different answers.
Yeah, because I always ask for an agent, and one person said, "Oh, we are just waiting for DOS to release the visa number so we can educate you."
Yeah.
But that was like way back in February, and I haven't gotten that response from anyone else. Every time I asked, they were like, "I cannot give you that information," or "That is not true." So it's like it's so inconsistent, and it's just frustrating because kind
And
of like I'm in a
when you ask
limbo.
when you ask your lawyers, they said no, don't sue because that slows things down, which is actually
Yeah.
the opposite of what's true. Mandamus never ever slows things down. It might not move every single case forward, but it definitely doesn't slow cases down. So that was bad information. So if I were you, what I would do is I would sue them put you and your husband in one lawsuit, ask them to get working on it, sue them in the Western District of Virginia, and just get the thing moving.
Okay, so I have two related questions.
Yeah.
So I've been watching the show for a while. So
Yeah.
I know way back when people kept asking about the public charge question, and you were like, "Oh, you're not subject to public charge," and I know you
Yeah.
backtracked and kind of
I was
changed your mind.
I was all mad about that. Yeah, I was talking to my wife the other day
Yeah.
about
So when we applied,
yeah.
there was a lot of back and forth, and a lawyer, just like you said, you are not subject to public charge. And he was emphatic because he was like, I have done this for people for years, for the I-485 for my
Just like
clients.
me. Yep.
Yeah. So the reason why I've been a bit hesitant when it comes to a mandamus is we have that. So because I was like, even if you give me an RFE, then I can fix it. But now that we are going there, if I decide to go for a mandamus, what happens?
Let me ask you, in your heart of hearts, do you really think that the reason that your case has been delayed is because of that question?
Oh, definitely not. Because so I'm on a couple of immigration platforms. One is like lawfully, and people have posted the experience, and they're like, "Oh, we just got an RFE, and they just asked us to refill that portion of the form. We did it, we sent it in, and we got adjudicated." So I know definitely that's not the issue. So my problem is, how does this work in case of a mandamus when I know that there's definitely something that could needs to be fixed, maybe.
So, of course, you always have the chance to fix things. If there's a mistake on there, they have to send you a request for evidence or a notice of intent to deny. Your case is not being delayed because of that. As you know, I was giving out incorrect information for a while on that, and we have never received an RFE asking someone to fix that. I don't think USCIS gives a shit about that question. I don't know anybody. I mean, every now and then somebody gets denied for public charge, but it's almost always at the embassy overseas. So I don't think that's what's slowing you down. And if it is, then the lawsuit's going to get that moving and out of your way.
Okay, so basically, I'm trying to paraphrase or kind of like my thoughts on this is, if even I went ahead with a mandamus and that was the case, they wouldn't straight out go like, this is refused. There will be a notice of intent to deny, or maybe an RFE to get it fixed.
What I would say is yes, 99% of the time, there's a rule that says that if they're going to deny your case, they have to send you a NOID first. They don't always follow that rule, but if they didn't follow that rule, then we'd have even more stuff to beat them up over with, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about that.
Okay. All right. So the last thing, I know you've got to go. So if I decided to file a mandamus, it's kind of expensive, so I don't know where I'll get the money from right now. But if we decided to go that way, how long will it take your firm to put together something like that?
Usually about 4 or 5 days. I'm
Okay.
supposed to say 2 weeks, but really it's about 4 or 5 days. Once
Yeah,
you
because
sign.
I'm worried about retrogression, and especially since I really need to start applying for jobs as soon as possible. It's very frustrating. All right, Jim. Thank you so much. There was a guy on Reddit. I've been watching you, and there was a guy on Reddit that said, "Oh, he used you guys and he got his response in 3 weeks." So he's really advertising for you on Reddit.
That's awesome. Great.
All right,
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right. Let's see here. Who is next? Camille, are you there? Hello, Camille. You're on mute.
Hey, Miss Jim.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Can you take me off camera?
Done.
Okay. I'm just calling to give you an update. I was one of your lawsuit client.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I began my filing on March 24th,
Okay, great.
and I had an interview on the second. Oh, they sent me a letter the 2nd of April. That's how fast it's come through for an
Nice.
interview on the 2nd of May. So I
How,
just didn't.
how long were you waiting before we filed the lawsuit?
Oh, well, my I-130 that was pending this month would make it 3 years, the 27th of this month.
And then so we sued him, and you got a notice for an interview, and
Yes, I would have sued them before, but then I filed my I-485 on December 9th, 2022.
Okay.
So Romel was the person I talked with. Just big up to Romel and Josephina.
Nice.
Yes, and I waited until because my I-130 wasn't approving and my I-485 was just dragging all along. So I did what I have to do through Romel, and my interview went very well. Hardly any question asked. My officer talks about her dog. She talks about her age. She asks just a random question on the I-485. She says she's just going through it because it's a norm. And she, I was there in December gone because my mom passed. So she was the person I dealt with. So she had known me. So it was just 1, 2, 3. So I'm just calling to tell you thanks so much for your law firm. It does well and everything like that. Who wanted to sue, please go ahead because it's very efficient. Thank you once again.
Thanks, Camille. That was great. I just put in the Slack for everybody at the firm that you're giving big ups to Romel and Josephina, so they'll be happy. And so, did you get your green card?
Well, it's approved on Saturday. I was there on the Thursday. The Saturday, my I-130. Friday, the I-130 approved. The Saturday, the I-485 approved. So, I'm waiting.
And what
just
field
Friday, Saturday.
office? What field office?
That was Charleston, South Carolina.
Awesome. Thanks, Camille. Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much once again. Bye.
Hey, bye-bye. All right. You gotta love that. Gotta love when the lawsuits work. They don't always work every single time, but when they do, they do. Yolanda is here. Hello, Yolanda.
Hi, Jim. How are you? I've been watching your show for like 3 months now since I came back to United States from Kuwait. So I just have one quick question. Because my husband and I were gonna file the form I-130 with the concurrent filing I-485. So is it necessary for me to file the I-539 for the extension of my stay in the United States?
Is your spouse a U.S. citizen?
I'm sorry?
Is your spouse a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
And when did you enter the United States?
7th of February this year.
And when you entered the United States, were you already married, or did you get married after that?
We've been married for in Kuwait, we've been married for 10 years. And in United States, we've been married for more than 2 years.
Okay, so so you're going to file the I-130 and the 45? No, there's no reason to file the I-539. That's just a waste of time and money, and it's going to confuse everybody.
Okay. So I'll just submit the I-130, I-485 together with the 765 and the 864, right?
And you'll need your medical, and you'll need to do the I-130A.
Yes, I did. I did the medical. I did the I-130A.
Awesome. Good luck, Yolanda.
All right, then. Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much.
See ya.
All right, then.
You got it. All right. Archie's here. Hello, Archie.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hear you fine.
Fantastic. I'm a Canadian citizen living in Boston at the moment. Going to get married to a girl from Connecticut, but my visa runs out in July. I have to leave town. So once I'm in Canada, should we get married in Canada and apply for is it the I-130 or the fiance visa?
Wait, hold on. When did you enter?
I entered 2.5 years ago.
And what kind of a visa?
It was a student visa, then OPT, and now it's over.
And are you already married, or you're going to get married?
Going to get married, but we can't do it here and apply for the sort of extension and just me stay here because I have to go to China in July. We're not going to get the travel documents in time, even if we got married tomorrow.
I gotcha. So how long do you have to go to China for?
3 weeks. And Vancouver for a week before that, so like away for a month.
Mm-hmm. So you've been in the United States on an F1 for like 2 or 3 years. You need to be out of the country for about a month. If you didn't have that trip, would you just do it all right here?
We'd just get married and I'd stay and it would all be hunky-dory. But I think I'm just going to go live in Montreal for a year. I'm a Canadian citizen.
So it's 2 years, not 1.
2 years.
Montreal's slow as F. What if you didn't get married at all? You went to Vancouver for a week, you went to China for 3 weeks, and then the next time you came to the United States, you came and you visited, you stayed for 60 days, and then if you got married, then you could just apply then. Why getting the marriage overseas and all that stuff is going to make things really complicated?
My understanding was that if I come as a tourist or on my Canadian passport and then stay for 60 days and then get married, they might think that's immigration fraud, like if I had the intention to get married.
So my position is that if you 100% know that's what you're going to do when you come back from Vancouver in China, that would be immigrant intent, and that'd be a misrepresentation on your entry. But if you were like, I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know when I'm going to get married, but I came back and I was like, well, it's nice to be back in the States. I like being here with you. Let's go ahead and get married in that 60 to 90 day window and then apply. Like, if you make the decision in the United States, that's very different than if you make the decision now or in China. So it's all about your intent. And if you have a wedding booked and all this stuff already, and then you go to China, that's problematic. But if nothing really starts, and as long as your intent isn't 100% to come back and get married, we've had that case hundreds of times.
You're like very, very confident that it would be hard for them to go back and prove intent if I didn't have it or didn't express it anywhere explicitly.
I've seen that happen to people, but it's because they do dumb things and they make their intent clear in stated ways in text to their spouse or in things that they do. Like I said, having the wedding hall and everything arranged before they leave. But there's never been a case that we filed where that was handled incorrectly and the clients got hit with a misrep.
Feels like a dangerous strategy. Isn't the 2-year wait potentially the less dangerous one if we can keep visiting each other? And
it is, yeah, no doubt.
Okay, but you say 2 years for either the fiance or the I-130.
Yeah, Montreal. I put Montreal up there right now with like the Philippines and Islamabad. Like that's just slow.
And there's nowhere else in Canada, right, to be or to go through?
Nope.
No. Okay. Thank you. I think that's all.
Bye, Archie. See you, buddy. Good luck in China. See ya. Tanvir's here. Hello, Tanvir.
Yes, sir. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Yes, I have to talk with you about my wife's I-130 visa.
Okay.
I applied my wife's visa in September 2022. Can you hear me good? All right. So I have applied her visa in September 2022, and they just denied it last month. And they said they sent me the letter too, but I don't know why they did that.
USCIS or the embassy?
Yes, the USCIS.
And do you have the denial notice?
Yes.
What's the reason for the denial?
They have a bunch of reasons which they have mentioned in that letter. They said I have the joint home with my ex-wife. We have divorced already, and we have some credit cards together too, which I don't know what she was using. Some other stuff like that. But I have provided them all my certification, the marriage certification, and all bank statements and everything else. But they still denied the visa.
So this is very unusual. So, did you get your green card? Are you a U.S. citizen or a green card holder?
Yes, yes, I'm a U.S. citizen.
And how did you get your green card? Through marriage to this ex-wife?
Yes.
Okay. And so, do you think that she said bad things about you to USCIS? That seems very strange that they would have access to those. It seems like she sent them to them.
Probably, I think so. Yes.
Do you want to send me the denial notice and I can tell you what I think?
Yes, yes, I can. How can I send the denial notice to you?
I'll put it our email address and our phone number. Just email it over, and then we can go from there. Let's see. Here we go.
There was a lot of other things which I doesn't want to mention about my ex-wife.
Yeah, just send it over. Send it over, and then we can talk, Tanvir. Okay.
Yes, yes. All right. I have contact with your.
Yeah, just say my name's Tanvir. I was on episode 596, and send that email to that address, and they'll follow up. Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye, buddy. See ya. All right, Bruno's been waiting. Hi, Bruno. You're on mute.
Hey, Jim, sorry about that. Can you hear me well? Oh, there's too much background noise.
There's a little background noise. Go ahead.
All right. So a few days ago, you told me that it was okay for me to that the 4 year and 1 day rule apply to me, but I have a couple of questions on that regard. So when I broke continuous residency was when I applied for a reentry permit, which I filed for it on September 2019, and it was valid until uh, September 2021. But I came back to the States on March 2021. So you told me that I would have to wait only like 4 years and 1 day before applying for citizenship. And but I have a question on those because in my case, it would only apply that absence will be like 6 months, more than 6 months, but less than a year, right? Because it's 4 years and 1 day. So, do I have to still prove that I didn't break continuous residence on those 364 days?
Are you saying if are you talking about applying after the 4 years and 1 day, or taking your chance now? Yeah, no, you won't have to prove it after that. No, you won't.
Because I was absent. On the first year, basically, like 1 year and less 1 day, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So do I need to? Are they gonna question me about that absence?
No, not if you wait the 4 years and 1 day. If you try to apply now, they would question you about it, but no, they're not supposed to.
Oh, okay, all right. And I will apply on April 2025. This is my second question. And my green card expires on December 2025. Should I renew my green card?
You'll probably get your citizenship before then. So I just wait until like November, and you can naturalize with an expired green card. So if it doesn't expire till December of 2025, I would just wait till the last minute to see if you need to reapply, and I would only reapply if I need to travel.
How long in advance should I reapply for renewal?
If my citizenship case was pending and I knew that I didn't need to leave the United States, I would probably not do it at all just to save the money. But otherwise, I would say, late October.
Yeah, if you have to travel in December, for example, next December.
Yeah, so then I would do it maybe in August or September.
Okay, all right, Jim. Thank you so much.
Hi, Bruno. See you, buddy. Yep, for sure. All right. Mark is here. Hello, Mark.
Hi. I have a question about. Sorry.
It's okay. I got you off camera.
Thanks.
You don't have to put the sticky note up.
Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, it's about Cuba, so it's kind of sensitive, I think.
Sure.
So I want to get married there, and to a woman with a 6-year-old child, and I just met her my last trip there, so I'm kind of wondering if I should prioritize like making more of a timeline with her, like making more visits, or there's also the election coming up, and I'm going to be working until September, so I can't go next time until September. And I'm also wondering just about how things are with the embassy there. Even their website gives me a 404 error. So
Yeah, we don't have an embassy there, so she'll process in Guyana most likely.
okay. And they do both immigrant and non-immigrant visas in Guyana?
They do.
And is that my only option? Because I see in Havana it says they do migrant visas.
Yeah, I don't think you can do a spouse visa case in Havana.
Okay. Okay, and then
As far as your first question, so you're saying that you've been to Cuba several times, but the only time you've met her is on this last trip, right?
correct, yeah.
So yeah, in my world, is there an age gap or anything?
Yeah, there's about a 20-year age gap.
Yeah, so we already have some things that they're going to hit us over the head about. We can't change the fact that there's an age gap, right?
Yeah.
But we can change the fact with how many visits did you have before you got married. So if I were in charge of everything and you were a patient person, I would say take take another trip and come back, and then take one more trip later, and then maybe get married on that trip.
Okay, and get married in Havana?
Yeah, I think that's going to be your easiest. I mean, I don't know what the rules are. I assume you're a U.S. citizen, right?
Yeah, and I've been talking to Cuban lawyers for that side of thing. It's all kind of confusing also, but at least the marriage part seems
every country is
straightforward.
different, but sometimes you have to bring proof you can't get married and all this BS. So yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's kind of seems ambiguous there. I hear contradicting stuff. It's because Cuba is really unique. But and then just go to Guyana, and they'll treat her just like an embassy in her own country, kind of, or
yeah. We've had a lot of cases from Cuba in Guyana. What'll happen is you'll come back, and I assume is the kid coming too?
Trying to, yeah. We're waiting on the birth father's permission.
Yeah. So once you get back after the marriage, you'll file an I-130 for your spouse and an I-130 for the kid, and those will be at USCIS for about a year. And then once those are approved, then you'll go to the National Visa Center of the State Department, and you'll do this thing called the DS-260, and you sort of start over with the State Department. At first you're with the USCIS, then you're with the State Department. That takes about 6 or 7 months, and then it's a matter of getting them to schedule an interview in Guyana, but Guyana is actually pretty quick.
And then that State Department deal, is that in the States then, or is that part of Guyana?
It's all in New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. Just the very very last piece will be in Guyana. You don't need to worry about that for a while.
Okay, so I'll be going to New Hampshire alone to file.
No. It's all electronic. You won't go there either. It's all just on paper. Mm-hmm.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll file the I-130 with USCIS, and you'll never be interviewed or anything on that. That'll just be pending, and they're just going to say, is Mark eligible to marry? Is the woman in Guyana eligible to marry? Yeah. Do we believe this is a marriage for relationship reasons and not to get an immigration benefit? Yeah. Then they approve the I-130. Then once it's approved, then it goes to the State Department at the National Visa Center. You pay some more fees. You have to show that you have enough money to support her and the kid. And then you fill out these forms for her and for the kid. And then once they're happy and satisfied, then you're what's called documentarily qualified. And once you're DQ'd, then they put you in the queue for an interview in Guyana. And then your spouse will bring that kid to Guyana. They'll have the interviews. Hopefully they get their visas, and then they come to the United States. You won't go to Guyana. Oh,
okay. One final question is, again, this is probably pretty complicated because it's Cuba. Would it be helpful at all if I bought property there or tried to become a permanent resident? Would that help my case at all? No.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but there's no reason. I mean, that's not going to make things extra special.
Yeah, I mean, it could make problems because
I wouldn't mess with it. Yeah.
Okay, so and then that filing for the I-130 will be online then?
You can file that online. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so just one trip, second trip, get married, then file, and then.
And remember, separate I-130 for each of them. You'll list the kid. You'll list the kid on her I-130, but they need their own filed I-130, and you have to pay the filing fee for each of them.
Okay. And then is that okay if I take like a 2-week trip and then wait a couple weeks and then do another 2-week trips and get married at that point? Would that?
I vote yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
I might put a little bit more. I might like go in September and then maybe go in November or December.
Okay.
I wouldn't go 2 weeks and 2 weeks and come home for 2 weeks. I would go 2 weeks, maybe a month or two, and then go back, and then I would file.
Okay. That sounds good. It sounds like maybe potential elections in November and inaugurations in January might not affect things so much since we're going to be working through Guyana and not Cuba.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they're going to try to do. I don't know that spouse cases is one thing they're going to be able to do much about, and I don't know that they're that worked up about spouse cases. I think that would be one of the few things that sort of keeps going.
Okay. I mean, I was thinking more about closing the embassy again or whatever. But
nah,
anyway,
I think
it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks
so much.
Mark. Bye, buddy. All right. That was Mark. Paul's been waiting. Hello, Paul.
How you doing, Jay?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. One second, let me get to a quiet place. So, my question will be, so I've been watching the show for a long time, James. So, my question is, since let's say September this year, no, September 2023, I filed in I-130 for my wife back home in Liberia. And then a month later, they send let's say a notification on a USCIS page saying they give let's say three weeks upon approval, and then it changed again to 4 weeks. It changed to 2 months, and now it's like 17 months.
Yeah, because it's all bullshit. They just make stuff up. None of those stated processing times mean anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because what happened was, so I was thinking because I got divorced in 2022, but then we were separated until 2023 when they sent me the divorce certificate, 2023. So that's how I filed. That's how I went to Liberia and then got married to my wife.
Wait. Hold on. Time out. Hold on. So, were you born in the United States?
Yeah. No. I'm born in Liberia.
And how did you become a U.S. citizen? By marriage to a U.S. citizen?
No, I came to the U.S. through a diversity immigrant visa program in 2014.
Okay, and then the prior spouse that you had, did they get an immigration benefit or no?
We came together from Liberia.
So, okay, and then you got divorced. When did you get separated? 2022?
Yeah, 2022. Yes, 2022.
And when was the divorce final?
There was a final in 2023.
What month?
Was in March.
And then when did you get married to this new person?
No, sorry. So 2022 March, that's when the divorce was final.
Okay, and then when did you get married?
2023 April.
A month later?
No, 2023 April.
Oh, a year and a month later.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Okay. And so then you filed the I-130 and now it's been pending. What's the receipt date on the I-130?
They receive it on the 30th. Oh, the actual receipt date on the I-130 is November.
So so you got married in March or April and you filed the I-130 in November of 2023?
Yes, November 27th.
And now you're wondering about the stupid processing times. That case is going to take a year. So there's really no reason to live and die on the roller coaster of I-130 updates from USCIS because they're just BS.
Oh, okay. All right. Somebody just sitting down on it.
You're just chilling.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jay.
Okay, bye, Paul. See you, buddy. All right. Kafui wants to know, how much does it cost to file mandamus? The filing fee, $405. The legal fee, $5,000. You can do one of three things. One is you can pay $3,000 up front plus the $405 filing fee and then $500 a month for 4 months. Or you can pay up front and save $500, so it'd be $4,500 instead of $5,000, and the $405 filing fee, so $4,905. Third option is to finance it all through this company called BYD Cash, and you can take up to 5 years to pay them back. All right. Let's go to Richard. Hello, Richard. Are you there? You're on mute, Richard.
Still on mute? Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
I guess so. All right. So, Jim, second time reaching out. The first time, I think I asked you some questions about an I-130. I had to submit them for my kids. I'm in the US now. Kids are still in Jamaica. So my concern now is, what can I do? I've submitted the I-130, two kids back in November, or October, November. What can I do to speed up getting my kids here with me?
Nothing.
So I can't request that they expedite it. I can't file a K4, K visa, K3.
No, that's a waste of time. Why should your case go faster than other people's cases?
Because they're practically with my sister, and there's been issues with with supervising them and stuff like that, or taking care of them.
I think that would probably be a loser expedite request. You can certainly do it, but I don't think they're going to approve it.
Is there anything I can do? Because I spoke to their moms, and their mom said, "Hey, we can't take them." So, is there anything?
How old are the kids?
They're 12, two 12-year-olds.
When did you become a U.S. citizen?
No, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a green card holder. My wife is a U.S. citizen.
And did your wife file I-130s for them, or did you?
She did.
Okay. And how long have you been married?
I've been married for over 4 years now.
So,
but I just got in the U.S. February.
Why?
It took that long. The process took that long. She became a citizen. I think the problem is she wasn't. Sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted you so you have the background or understanding. So at first she was a green card holder when we started the process. Then she became a citizen. I didn't file separate I-130s for the kids. So once she became a citizen, it took them off because we were in the process of waiting. I paid the visa application fee, the DS-260 fee for myself and the kids. We were waiting for that call from the embassy. Then she became a citizen. We sent that notification, and it took them off. So we had to start over their process all over again, and we did that back in October. I got a call from the embassy in December, and did the process. Got here in February.
How did she get her green card?
She got it through her dad. He came here, he filed for her, then she came up, she became a citizen. Filed for citizenship.
So again, I don't think they're going to expedite. I don't think they're going to find it very sympathetic because they're not nice. And I also think they're going to sort of blame you guys for her becoming a citizen and knocking the kids out of the case. And so I think that would even cut against the expedite request.
Oh. So
feel free to try, but it's not going to work.
And the K visa wouldn't work either for them to come while it process?
No.
So that would be a waste of money and time.
I believe so.
Okay. And can you give me a time frame, if you have that, as to how long it would take for them to get here, based on the fact that the I-130 was filed in October of last year?
So probably approve the case at USCIS around the end of the year, and then probably another year of processing. So probably end of 2025.
End of 2025. That's crazy. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Bye, Richard. See you, buddy.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, the other day, Nurse Laura referenced this crazy show that we've been watching. It's called Baby Reindeer. Has anybody seen this crazy show? I don't know. I'm not done with it, and I know there's some big spoiler at the end, and I think I know what it's going to be. Very strange show, very strange people. Hard to watch, sort of like in a Tiger King kind of way. It's supposedly a true story. I just got to one episode that was really hard to watch about this sort of a sexual attack that made me almost want to stop watching the show, but I got to find out what happens. It's a good show. It is a good show, but it's very creepy. It'll make you feel off balance, and like, you know, I was abused when I was a kid, so it's hard for me to watch, especially this one episode, which sort of came out of nowhere. It was like, yeah, I think that's right, Laura. I don't think you're supposed to like it. The show was rough, and then there's this other episode that's just super rough, and there's a warning at the start of it that people who, yeah. But the problem is, Laura, it sort of explains everything. Like, you understand that guy a whole lot more if you watch that episode. And we did fast forward through stuff because they gave you the warning, and there's just some stuff that triggers me. So if you had any kind of sexual abuse, I would say it. Yeah, like Handmaid's Tale. I think that was uncomfortable too. Yeah, I would say that, but it's more Handmaid's Tale just was upsetting because, and I only read the book, I didn't watch the show, but it was upsetting because it's sort of like a whole society. This is just so compact between two people really, that it's just really, we're going to probably finish it today or tomorrow, but oh man. But yeah, it's that same creepiness. So check it out if you want. But Nurse Laura said, when I said that guy who came on the show the other day looked like Carmi from The Bear, she said, well, at least he doesn't look like at least he doesn't look like the guy on Baby Reindeer. Because that guy is one ugly dude. There's no doubt about it. But hey, what are you going to do? We love everybody on this show. Ooch is here. Ooch.
When I said that guy,
are you there?
Every day, it's like,
he's on the layers.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you give me the thumbs up, just in case?
The camera's off, bro. Go.
I don't know why I can't. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Okay.
I'm going to talk anyways. So my wife petitioned an I-130 for me back in August of 2021, and it has been pending since, and it has been pending at the Brooklyn field office, but for some reason, the I-130 has been stuck on case received since then. It hasn't moved forward. It hasn't even gone under review. The I-1485 has been on cases under review since February of 2023. At this point, I don't really know what to do.
So when did you come to the United States?
I don't know why I cannot hear you at all.
I think everyone else can hear me.
I don't know why I can't hear you.
Sorry, buddy. Maybe come back tomorrow. He's got some weird audio going on because there's a long delay, and then he hears me. I don't know. Maybe he's listening on two devices. We got time for one more. Let's hit up Bombali. Bombali, are you there?
Hi Jim, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How you doing?
Good. Listen, I got a question. I got a friend. He's a U.S. naturalized, and he's having issue with his social security card.
Okay.
He's been going to the social security office since last July, and anytime he goes there, they're having an issue to upgrade it. And before that, they misspell his last name. And when he got his paperwork, he went to the office and rectified, put the right last name. And anytime he goes to the post office, to the social security office, they say it's some type of glitch. So it's like somebody else has been using his social. and up to now they haven't got anything corrected. So what is the option, if you know?
I don't know. I don't deal with social security cards. If somebody's using his social security number, he needs to file a police report. That I know.
No, he's the only one, but in the system, that's what he's showing. But nobody else is, is using it because of the name fix, the last name fix. Probably that's the glitch they are seeing into their system.
I don't know, buddy.
Okay. And I have another question also. I got my niece who came here as a wife, and she's been staying home for all this time. It's been almost 2 years. Um, Her husband didn't give her. She got a green card, but he's not he's not letting her to get work or get a driver license or ID card. So she's like a stay-home wife, and now the marriage is going downside.
Does she have her physical green card?
Yes.
Is it a 2-year green card or a 10-year green card?
10.
So she doesn't need him anymore. I mean, other than for immigration purposes, she's on a path to get her citizenship. So what's the question for me?
The question is that she has to be with the husband for 3 years or 5 years, but the marriage is not going well though.
If the marriage isn't going well, how long ago did she get the green card?
It's been almost 3 years now.
3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's long enough. She can move out. She can get her citizenship on her own, but she'll have to wait the full 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Okay.
Thanks, Mumbly.
Thank you. Have a nice one. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I think Uche's back. I'm going to try to get him even though I'm over time. Uche, I'm over time, so go ahead.
Okay, so as I was saying, I hope you can hear me now. I think I had to fix my audio settings. So as I was saying, my wife, she petitioned the I-130 for me back in August of 2021, and basically the case has been stolen since then. The I-1485.
Did you file the I-130 and the 45 together?
Yes, we filed it concurrently. Yes.
And what was your status at the time that she filed?
I think I had overstayed my visa because I came in. So I came on a student visa in February of 2011, and
Okay.
I think I was doing my masters, and I think I overstayed my visa a little bit. Yes.
Okay. Were either of you married before?
I was.
You were. What country were you married in?
In United States right here.
Okay, so while you were on your F1, you married a U.S. citizen. Did that U.S. citizen file for you for an immigration benefit?
No, she did not file anything.
And so then you divorced that person, and then you married this other person, and the second person filed for you.
Yes, correct.
And any reason to think that the first spouse said bad things about you to USCIS?
I wouldn't think so, but it wouldn't surprise me,
Okay. So the receipt date is when? It's 2021?
August 2nd of 2021.
That's insane. And you didn't have an interview?
No interview, no nothing. And every time I've called them, they keep telling me it's processing normally, and
That's
there's no red flag.
That's BS. You should almost be a U.S. citizen by now. You need to sue them.
I don't know what else to do. I'll not lie to you. I don't know what else to do.
I know what
my
to do.
my life is hanging on this. Like their decision is holding me back on a lot of things. So I don't know what direction to take. I just got off the phone with them, and it's tough. It's really, really tough.
So I can tell you what you need to do.
So far so good. They told me there's no red flags. So I don't know.
Here's what you need to do. You need to hire our firm to sue them. That's what you need to do. If we sue them, you'll have an interview probably in about 2 months.
So you're saying it shouldn't take this long for them to.
No, 3 years is crazy. You should be almost a citizen by now.
I mean, hearing this from me, I mean, I've always thought this way, but hearing this from you now puts everything in perspective, you know. And,
Okay. Thanks, Uche.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Buddy. All right, everyone. That'll do it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow. What time tomorrow? Let's see. Tomorrow, I'll be back at 11 o'clock Central. 11 o'clock Central, episode 597. 597 will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Hope you all have a great night. Hina, thank you for your help. Everybody else, thanks for the comments. Good to see everybody. Big up to all the yardies. Be kind to each other. Have a good night. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease.